Well, the problem of lifestyles and the management of time is very important for the future, because a society or an economy that wants to be sustainable needs, first of all, the contribution of everybody. So if we don't change the behavior, and if we don't change the present habits of consumption, we will not go in that direction for sure. So it has to be changed, but it cannot be imposed. So it has to be changed in a conscient manner. And so I think that the most important question is why the people that has the power to decide at political level are not doing everything they should do to create the conditions for everybody to change the lifestyle in a more sustainable way. And the answer, after all the studies that I did in the European Commission, such as Europe 2050 or the World in 2025 and others, is that in many cases the political power is captured by vested interests that don't want to change the present situation. And if the researchers and other people that are studying these problems don't deal with this question of power, they will go nowhere. Because in fact, we need to take into consideration the way the political environment is built today, and the fact that during all these years, these interests are very much established and very much strong. For example, to make an example, in tobacco, you cannot see a film of the 50s or the 60s without everybody smoking. And now you don't see any one of them. Behavior has changed. But during many, many years, the tobacco industry was furiously combating this change. But more than that, governments were combating the change because they were very much interested in the receipts that they could get from the tobacco industry. We can do the same kind of analysis about the energy sector. During many, many years, the energy sector was combating the fact that there is a climate change. Now they lost that battle, at least in terms of public opinion, but governments are still very much interested to continue to tax the energy sector and get receipts. So all these problems, in the end, goes to one only point: how to change the way governments and political power are deciding what is important for the future. It can be a success because in the future, if we place ourselves in the future, transparency will be much higher than it is today. So what is now reserved to a kind of a minority of people that are interested to debate and to study these problems, in the future will be available to everybody, and they will be able to decide on their own. So transparency will change the way the decisions are taken at the political level. Either the parties understand that or not, either the governments understand that or not, or either the companies understand that or not. And transparency is already changing these things. And with the new technologies, it will become more and more available and free. So this possibility exists. But of course, this movement should be complemented with the necessary measures. I thought that it was very interesting in the session of today and discussion of the project on lifestyles is that the changes came much more from the norms that are applied than from the subjective change of behavior of the people. The norms have a more strong impact. This is very important because it means that the decisions that are taken at the political level, they really count to make the way to the future quicker. Well, the question of pricing is a difficult question, because sometimes if you do wrong pricing, the impact of that will not be in the companies but will be in the people. It will be transferred to the people. So many times I listen to arguments that we need to increase the price of this, or we need to increase these taxes, and this apply to many sectors where the transfer of that financial burden to the people is easier. So the impact of that could be to discourage people to use that resource, yes, because it is more expensive, but it's not a disincentive for the companies as such. We need more, I think we need a more positive approach on incentives, and let people choose, and you'll see that with the good incentives they will choose better. My experience on European projects is that incentives given directly to the final beneficiary by the European budget in general are not useful, because they will only transfer resources to a very reduced number of people that by chance are in the end of that process. But if you use the money of the European projects to change the systems where the people are acting, that has a real impact, not only in that people, but also in the others that depend on the system. So it would be much more adequate to finance changes of the system than to finance incomes of the beneficiaries, of the final beneficiaries. And this is true for CAP, it's true for structural funds, it's true for research projects. I have seen it all, and all the projects that are aimed at changing the system, they have an impact. All the projects that are aimed to transfer resources to the final beneficiary, the impact disappears when the project disappears.